So I was on this journey. You can imagine. I mean, I loved the journey. And then the next thing that happened was that tragedy in my life whereby my 3 daughters and their friend were murdered. Now, I want to tell you about my journey of grief through this time. There may be some things there that can help. There are certainly some positive aspects that come out of it. So I'll tell you about my journey of grief. And you know what? Every one of us here are going to have to go through grief. Maybe many of us here have already been through grief, and there's going to be more, right? We're all going to go through some adversity at some time. The key thing out of adversity and out of trauma is learning, right? What is there that you can learn from this event? Because you know, those learning experiences are experiences for our soul. And it's the soul that needs the experience. So, Jenny and Kirsty, they were twins at 19. And Lexi, she was 16 years old the next day. Right? And I'm talking about a date, the 23rd of January 1987. 20 years ago. And they were living with their mum in Pymble. And a friend of theirs, Lisa, was there as well. So there was 4 of them in the house. I was living in Lindfield, married to Sandra. I had a little girl at that time called Lara, right, who was 5, and Ian, who was 3. At about 7 o'clock that night, I gave Lexi a ring and spoke to Jenny and Kirsty as well. And I tell you what, the mirth and the joy in that house was fantastic. They were all preparing. It was a Friday night. And they were all preparing for the long weekend to go camping. And we taught them camping, so I was really pleased with that, you know. And they were going to go and spend Australia Day, 26th of January. And a group of people were going to come up and join them, and they were all going to go camping. Well, that was fantastic, you know. And so I spoke to all 3 girls. And in retrospect, I'm so glad I did, right? Because at 9:10 that night, Richard Madrell arrived at the door, and he professed his love for Jenny. And Jenny, of course, had not had anything to do with him for 12 months. She wanted to keep him away. But he arrives at the door and shoots her. And then shot Kirsty, and then shot Lisa, and then shot Lexi. All over in 10 minutes. The police hammered on my door about 2 o'clock in the morning and told me what had happened. And my first reaction was, impossible. I don't believe that. I only spoke to them a couple of hours ago. And then I went off into guns. Shotgun, you say? Come on. With a shotgun, you've got to reload it. One or 2 of them are going to run away. They're going to get away. Surely not all 4 of them, not all 3 of my girls on the way in the police car. Right? I was still arguing with the police. Right? They were taking me to their house. And have you seen their bodies? Oh, you haven't been there. You've only been told about this on the radio, eh? So you don't really know this for sure. Always thinking of hoping, thinking that it's not true. And then a little bit of doubt would come in. And it would be like this. God, how could you let this happen? No, you haven't let it happen. It's okay. But if you have, what have the girls done? What have they done to deserve this, for goodness sake? There is no God. And so that's where my denial phase started.